Morning and welcome to Gardening 36589. Now last week Claire bought me a new pair of wellies. Of course I had to road test them. So we're going to look back at last week. And the people that watch Gardening 36588 will know I've had a problem recently. And the problem is I had a hole in my trusted Dunlop wellies. But the great news is I've got some new Dunlop rubber and I'm going to road test them shortly. Under normal conditions they handle great. But what happens if I take them off road? They handle great and the stopping distance is absolutely amazing. Definitely recommend Dunlop wellies. And then during the week Claire got outside to do some stuff, and the great thing was that she recorded what she was doing for all of you guys to see. So I hope you enjoy this bit too.
I just wanted to show you these. These are little seeds that develop from a very long, beautiful, deep burgundy flower. Now I call it a pheasant bush. I've heard it called a Victorian geranium, and I know it's got a proper name, but I can't remember it. Now, this has been really, really good for the bullfinches. They love them, and the blackbirds do as well. So if you want to put one of these in your garden, the birds will thank you. It's also very good for camouflage. Excuse the noisy lot behind me. And these were my verbena. And I've kept these till now because the seed heads feed a multitude of birds. But they've had them now. They've eaten them, what's left of them, which isn't a lot, it's more just husky. So I'm going to cut them down about halfway for now. And hopefully they'll come again this year. And that's my little bit of wildlife. And not forgetting Bucket, who's in my wheelbarrow for some reason. He is wild. He's not the wildlife I'm trying to encourage. Bucket. 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 Yeah. Out there, mate.
And then yesterday I planted some lemongrass. Now lemongrass is something I'd really like to get to grow because it's got some great benefits which hopefully I can show you later in the year. But not yet, I've got to grow it first. So let's have a look at that. And here's a new one for me. Growing lemongrass. Now I've just had a look on the internet at some videos and it says it's incredibly difficult to grow from seed. So I like the challenge, so I'm going to grow some of this. The seed itself has been in the fridge for 1 month, exactly as it says on there, and now I'm going to plant them. Soil I'm going to use, and again I've had a look at this, is standard potting compost with a little tiny bit of homemade compost, and the white that you see in there is perlite to keep the moisture retained. I'll just put them in now, very small seeds. Very shortly I'm going to take these up to the house because they won't stand cold temperatures. I'll put a little polythene bag over them, put them in a little tray, and put them under some grow lights. From here onwards, I'm not sure what will happen because this is totally new to me. And if I can get them to germinate, there's some massive benefits from growing lemongrass. Last week, I finished by pulling some turnips for Sunday dinner, and they were absolutely delicious. But the waste, what did I use the waste for? Well, you can have a look. And very shortly you can see the progress of that this week, and I'm really pleased with what I've got to show you. I chopped all the tops of the turnips to put into the worm compost, and you can have a look inside now, and it's absolutely amazing. So from here I've already had the lid open today. And I've got worms in the top. Got a few in this area here, look. So they're moving up. I'm basically starting to work the compost. You can see the turnip leaves from last week. And I'm turning it over because worm compost works better if you do turn it over, and turn it over fairly regularly. Worms don't like light, so I'll put the lid back on. But hopefully you enjoyed that. Now during the week, one of our subscribers to our YouTube channel, Graham Thomas, asked me a question: do I use my homemade compost for planting seeds? And the answer is no. It's too rich, so I use a multi-purpose compost for that. This is the sort of stuff I use, and I bought a bag of this, and it's 60 litres and it costs £4, so it's not expensive to buy. This is the homemade compost that we're talking about. Now I don't use this for potting up seedlings, but I will use it for growing seed potatoes and basically in the garden. So this is a bit rough at the moment, so later on I'm going to show you what I'm going to be doing with this. And at the bottom of my wormery there's a little tap. I wonder what that's for. The tap is to collect the liquid feed which comes off the compost, and it's just absolutely superb. Again, very rich, and it needs to be diluted down to about 10 to 1, or otherwise it's just too rich for the plants. And I hope to get maybe a pint, maybe a pint and a half, to fill that watering can full of plant food. Superb. Dilute it down with rainwater, as I say, about 10 to 1. There it is. Look at the colour of that. Full of nutrients for the plants. Potted up some cauliflowers from last year. Just giving them a little bit of this homemade liquid feed. In the next week or two, after maybe this next bout of frost, I'll look to get them outside. Plan my day very carefully. If it's a little bit chilly, always start inside if you can, and then as it gets warmer, get yourself outside. Now I'm outside now. I wouldn't say it's chilly, it's reasonable. The sun is out and it's really nice out here, and I'm going to talk about raised bed gardening. Now I love raised bed gardening for a number of reasons. I've created really light soil in my raised bed gardens, and when I've got deep rooted weeds like this, just with a little fork, go right down and get right to the root, and then hopefully, and this is deep rooted, and get the whole root out so it won't grow back. That's a good enough reason, I think, to have a raised bed garden. And reason number 2, similar to reason 1, clods of earth just break up so easy, and this hasn't even been touched this year at all yet. So processing your soil is just very easy. And reason number 3 is, and this is possibly the most important, it's dead easy to weed. Because you can do your weeding sat down. So instead of a chore, dare I say, weeding almost becomes a pleasure. And because it's so easy, you're not bending your back, I can do a massive area in a very short space of time. Now, we would like to have their weeding made easy. Raised bed gardens. And 5 to 10 minutes later, we're all done. I love weeding. Well, I don't. But I don't dislike it either now anymore. And what to do with the weeds when you finish with them? Remember, nothing goes to waste.
Not in this house!
Just tip them on top of some browns. Into your compost bin. 12 months time, perfect compost. concludes this episode of Gardening 365, Gardening 365 89. Join me next time for Gardening 365 90. See you soon. Bye.